The FMDQ Next Generation Financial Markets Empowerment Program for 2020 was held last Friday for school children aged between 10 and 16. The event, entitled The Money Genius, quote unquote, was held virtually on the back of the current COVID-19 regulations.
You are more than welcome to the FMDQ Next Financial Literacy event, our very first virtual program. Please write your name down on a piece of paper and one interesting thing about yourself, please. Anything. What's unique about you? What's your greatest strength? What are the fun things you like? Something unique, anything.
FMDQ is a group of companies that basically provides the process flow for raising capital, buying, selling investments in very simplistic form.
What today meant to you? What was your key takeaway from today?
Today I learned how to properly invest in businesses.
What the meaning, full and correct meaning of GCOO is.
GCOO means Group Chief Operating Officer.
Very well done. And tell us one key thing about the financial markets.
I learned that it's a lot easier than people think to invest and get money back from the financial market.
So which business would you like to invest in?
I like to invest on the money market sector, ma.
You are listening.
I have asked my mother to take my money from my piggy bank to the bank.
Okay. So you want to earn interest now from your money, from your savings. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so we have people saying it's working now. A lot of the participants are saying it's working now.
Yeah, the International Literacy Day held last week focused on literacy, teaching and learning in COVID-19 crisis as kids stay back at home, highlighting the impact of COVID-19 on children, the role of educators, among others, in particular this time in the financial markets. Let's discuss this a bit further with Kaodi Ugoji, the GCOO of FMDQ Group. Good evening, Kaodi. It's good to see you.
Good evening, Bosun. Good to see you too.
Thank you. So what's the full meaning of GCOO?
I think the kids already answered that question for us.
Okay.
The kids have beat us to that already.
Okay, I understand. I just want to test you, by the way. So how important is financial literacy for children under the International Literacy Day?
Extremely important, Bosun. The International Literacy Day is a day that was set aside by the UNESCO to promote the importance of literacy, to help promote dignity and human rights amongst people. But one of the things that we found is, apart from the basic need to read and write, it is very, very important for these individuals to learn about financial markets, to learn, in fact, about the basics of finances, how to save, how to invest, what to do with their money, pretty much. And it even makes it more exciting for us because we're taking this away from the adults to the children. And we want to catch them young, pretty much. That's what we're doing at FMDQ Next. Catching the children from primary to university students and fresh graduates and teaching them about the financial markets. And we think this aligned perfectly with the International Literacy Day. Again, in normal times, we would have had a program at our offices in the FMDQ Q Hub, which is a dedicated trading simulation room that we've set up for this purpose. But with COVID, we've learned that everything can be done virtually. And we thought, why don't we engage these children virtually to promote the International Literacy Day, to commemorate International Literacy Day, and provide that platform for them to keep learning and learning about the financial market. So very, very important, and it was key for us to mark that day the way we did.
What has been achieved under this initiative of FMDQ Next? Your exchange is a relatively young one, by the way. You're still less than 10 years. So how did you fit in the next generation here into the entire big discourse of an exchange that is worth several trillions of naira?
Okay, so the FMDQ, which is now beyond an exchange because it has the exchange, securities exchange, it has a clearinghouse, it has a depository, and it has private markets. So it has a full financial market infrastructure, which is what it is, a financial market infrastructure group, will be 7 years old in a couple of months, in November, actually. So maybe not so young, but yes, younger than below 10 years. And one of the things that we found in the market generally was that there was a dearth of financial market knowledge in the market. And I'm talking about across board, even from the adults. And so we set up FMDQ Academy to take care of that. But we looked further to say, if we want to promote a financial market that is sustainable and that would go and serve the economy long into the future, then we need to bring the next generation on board, because most of us stumbled stumbled into financial markets pretty much in our adult years. But we just thought that we went a step further and brought children from primary, secondary, university to start to understand about their finances, to understand that there is more to creating wealth, pretty much. We thought that that would be a good way to bring them on board. So for us, we're looking at financial market literacy and capacity building across the full spectrum, from students with the FMDQ Next to the markets, to the public with FMDQ Academy. So that was what gave birth to FMDQ Next. It was launched in 2008. And since then, indeed, it has been a very exciting journey for us. We've had almost 500 students go through this program, through our various programs, through excursions, through our summer camps, through our internships, challenges, and all the things that we've done so far. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a dedicated trading simulation room in FMDQ's Exchange Place, which is our corporate offices, for these students to come in and they can trade. So they can actually trade in the financial markets, and they make profits and losses. And they're very excited to be learning about this different phase of life that they haven't been exposed to previously.
Speaking specifically, Kaodi, due to time, speaking specifically to these young children between the age of 10 and 16, well, what are you learning from this, yourself, the rest of your colleagues are learning from these interactions with them about the next generation of Nigerians?
Interestingly, Bosun, we've had kids as young as 8 in our program. So even what we found is that there's a hunger. These children are hungry for information. They probably haven't come across this in their lives so far. And in fact, when we begin the interactions with them, we engage them to say, what are you interested in this? And some of them tell you gradually, oh, my parents made me come here, or I'm just here because I have to be. But by the end of the program, when you speak to them, you see how this has changed their perspective. And they're telling you passionately about how they love the financial markets, and how even if they don't want to be a financial market practitioner, they want to be doctors or lawyers, but they see that indeed their own personal lives are impacted by this. And if you listen to the clip, I think one of the students actually said she was going to tell her mom to empty her piggy bank and take her to invest in money market funds. So it just tells you that there is a lot for us if we indeed put out this information and groom these children.
Kaodi, I watched a video. I heard one of the kids talk about his 10,000 naira or so. I hope you grab that and invest that in either in treasury bills or bonds for him. By the way, thank you so much. It's good to have you on the show today. Kaodi Ugoji, Group Chief Operating Officer. That's what GCOO stands for, by the way.